The world is grey. The world is grey. The air is thick with ghosts of the mountain's fire, a fine powder that coats the tongue and grinds between the teeth. Okay, you, a creature of the species Homo habilis, is the last moving thing in a silent diorama of death. He rises from the hollow where he slept, his skin caked in the same ash that blankets the bones of his clan. The sky is a bruised lid, heavy and close. Days ago, this was a valley of green noise. Now it is a basin of profound, choking silence. He is a piece of prehistoric life suddenly thrust into a world after life has ended. He moves not with purpose, but with the simple animal instinct that forbids stillness. Each step ends up soft puffs of the world's shroud. He passes the familiar overhang where they sheltered, now a mound of grey weeping long, dark streaks of rain-mixed dust. He does not look for them. He saw where they fell, running from the hot cloud. He knows he is alone. His only companion is a sharpened femur from a raptor, a tool-loved primitive osteodontocratic technology he clutches in his right hand. It feels flimsy, a relic of a forgotten time. Hunger is a cold stone in his gut. The familiar berry bushes are skeletal claws reaching from their grey graves. The stream is a sluggish grey artery, its water undrinkable. Survival skills from the old world mean nothing here. There is nothing to track, nothing to gather. The very ground, this ancient earth, has been poisoned. He stumbles on, a small, two-legged scavenger in a landscape of universal death. Despair is a weight heavier than the ash-filled air. It is in this void, this utter end, that a sound reaches him. It is not the crack of a branch or the scuttling of a lizard. It is a deep, resonant groan that vibrates through the soles of his feet. Hope is a thing he has forgotten, but his body remembers it. He turns toward the sound, his tool held ready. He climbs a low, sloping hill, his feet sinking, his lungs burning. From the crest he sees them. Life. Not the small, scurrying life of before, but life on a scale that defies the desolation. A herd of Triceratops moves through the grey waste, their immense bodies dark islands in a sea of ash. They are titans, remnants of a time just yesterday when the world was alive. They are digging. They are digging. Their massive three-horned heads lower, and with powerful forearms they claw at the ash, scraping away the deep layer of death. Their great carrot and no US beaks stare at the ground, pulling up thick, pale tuberous. They chew with a sound like grinding rocks. OKU watches, mesmerized. Food. Beneath the grey, the world still holds sustenance, but only for those strong enough to reach it. He cannot break the compacted earth. The realization is a spark in the darkness of his mind, a testament to the dawning of human evolution. The giants are his only hope. They are immense, territorial, and their casual passage could crush him without a thought. But the alternative is to lie down and join the ash. He watches the herd's matriarch lift her colossal, frilled head, her small eyes scanning the dead horizon. A decision is made. OKU, the toolmaker, the lone survivor, takes his first step, a tiny, desperate shadow falling into line behind the armored gods of this new grey world. Days bleed into a grey sameness. OKU's life now has a rhythm dictated by the great beasts. When they march, he follows, a tiny, ragged figure trailing in their enormous wake, careful to keep the wind in his face so his scent does not carry. When they stop to rest, he finds a high rock or a shadow crevice from which to watch, and when they dig, he waits. He waits with a patience born of absolute necessity, a core survival trait forged deep in hominid history. He watches as the Triceratops use their powerful forelimbs and immense, keratinous beaks to shear away the blanket of ash, unearthing the pale, starchy tubers. After the herd has eaten its fill and moved on, OKU scrambles down to the disturbed earth. He is a scavenger of giants, gathering the scraps, the half-eaten roots, and the smaller tubers they missed. It is a meager existence, but it is life. He is learning their language, the low rumble of contentment, the sharp bark of a law, the bellow of a dominant male asserting his position. The herd is a moving fortress, a city of flesh and bone, and he is its single, silent, and unnoticed inhabitant. But the rhythm is breaking. A new tension hums through the herd. The adults are more watchful, their great heads lifting from their feeding to scan the silent grey ridges. The calves are kept closer to the center, their small bodies shielded by a wall of horned muscle. At first, OKU does not understand. The prehistoric world has many dangers, but here, in this ash-choked purgatory, it seems all life but them has been extinguished. Then he sees the signs. A juvenile Triceratops, one he recognized by a notch in its frill, is gone. There is no body, only a dragged mark in the ash leading away from the herd's resting place, a mark that vanishes into the featureless landscape. Fear, cold and familiar, coils in his belly. They are not alone. This is not just a migration, it is a retreat. The complex predator-prey dynamic he has always understood is reasserting itself even in this dead world. He sees the hunter 2 days later. He has climbed a spire of volcanic rock to get a better view of the herd's path when he notices it. A grey ridge on a distant hill shifts. It is not a trick of the light or the wind. The ridge rises, detaching itself from the horizon, and OK's heart freezes. A Giganotosaurus. It is immense, a predator sculpted from ash and shadow, its hide a perfect camouflage against the dead earth. Deliberate patience that is far more terrifying than a frantic charge. The great theropod is not chasing, it is herding. It shadows the Triceratops, a ghost of hunger haunting their every step, waiting for the weak, the old, or the foolishly brave. OKU understands with chilling clarity. The giant hunter is also following the food source. He and the monster share the same strategy. The revelation transforms his world again. The dinosaurs he follows for life are now his only shield from a death that follows them all. He must get closer, risk being crushed underfoot, because the space between the herd and the horizon is no longer empty. It is the hunting ground of a patient god of death. The attack comes as the grey light fades to black. There is no moon, only the oppressive, starless canopy of ash. The herd is restless, gathered in a tight cluster, the low rumbles of their anxiety a constant vibration in the ground. OKU lies in a shallow depression a stone's throw away, the cold seeping into his bones. A sudden, unified bellow from the herd shatters the silence. He leaps to his feet just as the ground begins to tremble with a new rhythm. It is not the heavy tread of the horned herbivores. It is the faster, earth-shaking stride of a colossal hunter. The Giganotosaurus emerges from the gloom, a nightmare of impossible scale. It is no longer a patient stalker but a force of pure violence, its roar a physical blow that rips through the night. The Triceratops instantly form their defense. The adults create a living wall, a perimeter of forward-facing horns, their massive frills like shields. The calves, bleating in terror, are pushed into the protected center. The great theropod does not charge the wall head-on. Paleontology can reconstruct the bones, but it cannot capture the terrifying intelligence in its eyes. It finds, lunging at one side, forcing the giants to shift, then circling with horrifying speed to probe for a weakness on the other. It is a battle of titans, a private war that has no place for a creature like OKU. He is caught in no man's land. To run into the open dark is to be seen, to be chased, to be ripped apart. To stay put is to be trampled as the battle shifts. He sees the predator's goal to break the circle, to create panic and isolate a single victim. And in a moment of cold horror, he sees its eyes fix on him. He is not the intended meal, but he is a tool. The monster charges, not at the wall of horns, but at the space beside it where OKU stands frozen. It is trying to use him, to flush him into the herd and create a seam in their defense. There is no choice. The instinct for survival, the driving force of all human ancestors, screams one command: move. OKU does not run away from the chaos. He runs into it. He sprints for the wall of muscle and horn, a desperate, last-ditch gamble. He dives under the belly of a huge bull, the animal's musky scent and body heat enveloping him. The bull shifts, its leg like a tree trunk missing him by inches. He scrambles deeper into the maelstrom of bellowing, stamping beasts. He crawls blindly, driven toward the center, toward the sound of the frightened cows. He feels the thud of the Giganotosaurus slamming into the outer ranks. He emerges into the relative calm of the circle's heart. He collapses, gasping, among the terrified young. An enormous female, her horn smeared with dark nose, her head, her eye a black, ancient orb, falls upon him. There is no malice, no curiosity, only the cold appraisal of a force of nature. The bony boss on her nose is inches from his face. She could kill him with a twitch. Okayu remains perfectly still. He is nothing, a stone, a piece of the dead earth. The moment stretches into an eternity. Then, with a deafening roar of fury at the impenetrable fortress, the Giganotosaurus lunges again. The female turns her massive head away from Okayu, her attention fixed entirely on the true enemy. His gamble has worked. In a world of giants, his only shield is to be utterly insignificant. As a new grey dawn breaks, the wounded Giganotosaurus has gone, a ghost melting back into a world of ghosts. The herd, bruised but unbroken, begins to move, and Okayu, the unnoticed survivor, moves with them. He has done more than survive a disaster. He has survived the laws of nature that placed him at the bottom of the food chain. In that single, desperate act of running into the heart of the beast, he has written a new chapter in the chronicle of early humans. This is the genesis of strategy, the birth of the idea that overwhelming power can be countered by understanding, that the strength of a titan can be used as a shield by the weak. The singular act of courage, born of pure terror, is a quiet explosion that will echo through millennia of hominid history. It is the moment a clever ape, armed with nothing but a sharpened bone and a spark of audacious foresight, looked upon a world of monsters and refused to accept his extinction. It is the primal scene of our unlikely ascension, a testament to the fact that the human race did not begin its journey by conquering the world, but by finding the courage to hide in the shadow of its gods. This is the bedrock of the human spirit. And in the distance, the ash begins to settle, revealing the edge of a vast, frozen wasteland.